Okay, we're gonna do pelvic tilt, which is kind of what it sounds like, right? We're gonna tilt the pelvis slowly in order to move into the lumbar spine and lubricate the lumbar facet joints. So first thing you want to do is lie down and have your knees bent up, and you'd like your knees to be hip width apart. So they're not touching and they're not really crazy wide. And to find how wide apart they should be, I want you to find the bumps on the front of your pelvis. So there's these big bones on the front of the pelvis. You can take the outside of your hand and put that on those bumps, and that's hip width apart. It's also shoulder width apart. Okay, these bumps are pretty important. I want you to put your fingertips back on these bumps, the ASIS, the front of the pelvic bones, because this is where we're going to initiate the motion for a pelvic tilt. And that's number one. Number two is the movement's going to come from the power of the legs. So what I'm going to ask is that you push into your feet more in the heel of the foot than the front of the foot. So there's a definite bias to begin this motion, this rocking movement here at my hips, by putting some pressure down through the heels. But the front of the foot, the ball of the foot, is also working, okay? So here we go. So you're going to initiate the motion at these bones through the power of your legs by pushing into your heels, and then you're going to slowly roll these bones towards your head. As the bone rolls up towards your head, the low back begins to flatten into the surface beneath you. So the key distinction of how we do pelvic tilts is the slow segmental motion. We don't want just one big flattening. We want to start at the pelvis and we'd like to roll L5, L4, L3, L2. That's about as far as we get, all the way flat into the surface beneath you. You can do this wherever you are. You can do it in bed. You can do it on the floor. You can do it on a mat. I'd prefer a firm surface, but if you're very acute and you can't get there, that's fine. So let's start again. We're going to press into the heels of both feet evenly and begin to move the pelvis, these bones under your fingers. You should feel them move up towards your head slowly. And you're going to keep rolling, keep pushing, keep rolling as your back flattens naturally into the surface beneath you. You want to push as far as you can, but you don't want the buttocks to come off. It is not a bridge. So as soon as the tailbone comes off, that's when you're going to stop. So again, it's going to look like this. I'm going to press into my heels. I'm going to roll the pelvis up towards my head, flattening, feeling the low back flatten into the surface until the tailbone starts to come off. At that point, I can add a little abdominal contraction, very soft and gentle, to see if I can get any more of my low back flat into the surface. Release that contraction, and then we're going to release slowly. Here's the key. Slowly back to neutral. We're trying to move one vertebrae at a time. So now I'm at neutral. Now I want to take those pelvic bones away from my head, and we're going to arch the low back. So here's these bones where they're moving this way. I'm arching my low back as far as you can, as far as I can, without a pinch or sensation of pain. You want to be careful arching the back. That's an extension motion, and that's when you're most likely going to feel a bit of a pinch, if you're going to. And I want you to stop before the sensation of discomfort, even a pinch, on either direction. The away direction, which is called an anterior pelvic tilt, is the direction most people are going to feel something in. So I want you to understand, on this anterior away pelvic tilt, as I arch my back, see how my hand can come under my back. Imagine I have a little match car, and I'm going to drive that under my back. That's the direction. You go as far as you can without a pinch. We don't hold that direction, and you're going to roll back to neutral, and then keep going, keep rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling till the back is flat. I can make sure it's as flat as it can be with my abdominals, and then I'm going to hold this direction, the flattening, which is called a posterior pelvic tilt, for 5 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm going to slowly segmental roll back to neutral, which is there, and then I'm going to begin to roll away into the arch of the low back. I don't hold that direction. I'm going to roll back to neutral and continue pressing through my feet to flatten the back till the tailbone comes off. Hold that for 5 seconds. I can give a little bit of pressure. While I'm holding this, make sure your neck is soft, your shoulders are soft. When your back is flat, you don't want any tension through the front of the neck or the back of the neck. 5 seconds is up, and I roll slowly, segmental. I'm trying to go as slow and specifically as I can to lubricate the joints that are being moved along this process. So there's a flattening, hold for 5 seconds. There's an arching away. We don't hold that direction. We just slowly roll back, and you have this rocker motion. Now, the most important thing to remember is that you don't go into the beginning of discomfort in either direction. As soon as you start to feel, let's say you're going to feel it in this direction, the flattening. Oh, and there's a little discomfort. You stop, you come away from it, hold for 5 seconds, just at the threshold of success. In other words, I go, okay, there's pain, I back off just a millimeter, hold here for 5 seconds, and then release back to neutral and start to arch. Oh, wait, there's a little pinch. So I back off and I roll back into the flat. So again, you're not going to push into any discomfort. And let's see, threshold of success, 5 seconds on the flattening, arch away, no hold. The first few reps, you might not get that far, but as you continue your repetitions, you should see that you can go further and further. If you can't, that's not a problem. 10 reps, okay? 10 repetitions without any discomfort, and lubricating the joints, creating that pelvic lumbar mobility, restoring health, reducing pain, and awesome. That's the full version. We do have a quick version to just walk you right through, okay? So good luck.